Welcome to psychometric.com. Today we will look at aptitude tests for the company Shell. Shell is one of the world's largest energy companies and operates in areas such as oil, gas, and petrochemical products, with a presence in more than 70 countries. In its own documentation, Shell emphasizes it looks for people capable of analyzing situations, identifying problems, and proposing well-reasoned solutions. So, it uses aptitude or cognitive tests to identify candidates with intellectual and analytical potential for roles where good decision-making is crucial. Shell's aptitude tests, also known as assessment tests, typically include logical reasoning exercises, mechanical reasoning exercises, verbal reasoning exercises, and numerical reasoning exercises. How can you pass these tests? As we say in all our videos, by practicing beforehand, because that will give us a significant advantage over other competitors. Learn tips and tricks to perform the exercises more efficiently. You can learn these tips and tricks in our course. The duration and content of these tests vary depending on the country and the position we aspire to. Now we will see 10 example exercises. I remind you that you have a complete course in the description of this video, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. Exercise number 1. Select the correct answer. This exercise combines what would be logical reasoning and mathematical reasoning, since normally to solve it, we'll have to perform mathematical calculations to figure out the unknown. Usually these exercises have a logic where the unknown is the result of some mathematical interaction of the four surrounding numbers. It can be multiplications and divisions, adding 2 minus subtracting 2, multiplying 2, and subtracting the result in the multiplication of 2 others. There are a multitude of logical reasonings. In this case, I encourage you to pause the video and solve it yourselves, and then we'll solve it together. In this case, it would be adding the numbers that are in the vertical area minus the numbers that are in the horizontal position. That is to say, in this case, it would be adding 25 plus 23 minus 17 plus 14. That is, here it would be 25 plus 23 is 48 and 17 plus 14 is 31. So if we subtract 48 minus 31, it equals 17. In this case, it should have the same logic. If, for example, by applying this logic we do not find the answer in the answer options, then we would have to look for another logic because we would have made a mistake. So here if we add 15 plus 21, it would be 36 minus 18 plus 725, which would equal 11. Here the correct answer would be option A, 11. Let's move on to exercise number 2. Choose the correct answer. This is the typical kind of logic matrix, where you'll often find either a horizontal or a vertical pattern. Here, if we pay close attention, it seems as though the first figure is added to the second, so to speak. We see that if we superimpose this figure with this figure, we get this figure as a result. And if we go to the second row, if we add this figure to this figure, we see it would be the superimposed figure, but if a line is repeated, it's eliminated. For example, this central line coincides with this central line, and therefore it is eliminated here. So in this case, it would have to be this line, not the middle one, because this one matches this one, and here there's another line, and then one in the middle. So the correct answer would be option A. Let's move on to exercise number 3. Select A if the triangle weighs more, select B if the circle weighs more, select C if the square weighs more, or D if it cannot be known. This particular exercise combines mechanical knowledge with logical reasoning. Here we must understand, based on logic, that if the circle causes the scale to go down, then the circle is indeed the one that weighs more. And here, for example, if we see that 2 circles and the triangle and the square are in equilibrium, it's because the sum of the 2 circles is equal in weight to the sum of the triangle and the square. So, if 2 circles are in balance with a triangle and a square, it's because the square weighs more than the circles, since the triangle weighs less. Therefore, the square is the heaviest figure, allowing for equilibrium when the triangle is lighter than the circles. Following the statement's logic, we should choose option C. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Now let's move on to exercise number 4, which wheel will rotate the slowest. This is also an exercise in logic and mechanics where a person who, for example, really likes bicycles will find the answer very obvious. Here in this case, I won't elaborate much further, but we know that the larger the circle, the more slowly it can rotate, and conversely, if the wheel is smaller, it has to make more turns to compensate for the turns of the large wheel. So the wheel that will rotate more slowly will be the largest of the 4. The correct answer would be option B. Let's move on to exercise 5. Please choose the word that is the opposite in meaning to reluctant. Your first option is A, eager, your second option is B, doubtful, and your third option is C, passive. Option D, cautious. You can stop the video here. For a person with intermediate knowledge of English, this exercise will seem very simple. The correct answer here would be option A, eager, because we're asked for the word that has the opposite meaning. Reluctant means being hesitant or quite unwilling to do something. Its opposite is eager, which means willing, enthusiastic, or very keen. As you can see, this is a fairly easy exercise for anyone with an intermediate English level. Let's move on to exercise number 6. Read the passage and decide if the statement is true, false, or cannot be determined. Several senior analysts were invited to the strategy meeting, but only those who had completed the forecasting module were allowed to present. At least 2 of the speakers had joined the company within the last year. A statement. Some recently hired employees completed the forecasting module. Select A if true, select B if false, and select C if it cannot be known. So, well, from the text we can know 2 things: that only those who had completed the forecasting module could apply, and that at least 2 speakers had joined the company during the last year. So, the premise that some newly hired employees completed the forecasting module is true, since recently is the same as saying during the last year. So the correct answer would be option A. Let's move on to exercise number 7. What number comes next in the sequence? We are given 7, 10, 16, 25, 37. Here I encourage you to pause the video and try to find the logic that this series contains. It seems quite clear that it is 3, 6, 9, 12. The next one will be 15, so the correct answer would be option C, 52. In this case, it is a fairly simple series. Let me know in the comments if you were able to solve it without any problem. Let's move on to exercise number 8. If 6 workers can complete a task in 8 days, how many days will 12 workers need to complete the same task? Assuming that everyone works at the same consistent pace. In this particular scenario, it's an inverse rule of 3, because the more workers you have, the fewer days it will take to finish. So, if 6 workers take 8 days, 12 workers take X. If it were a simple proportion, you would multiply across and divide by the other number. In this particular case, since it's an inverse rule of 3, we solve it in the following way. We multiply 6 by 8, which then equals 12, multiplied by x. And we need to solve for the unknown variable, x. We move the 12 to the other side, and it becomes 48 divided by 12, and that equals 4. Therefore, the correct answer would be option B. Here, the key idea is that if the number of workers doubles, the time is halved. Therefore, if 6 workers take 8 days, 12 take 4. It's important to know the difference between direct proportion and inverse proportion. Let's move on to exercise number 9. Select the correct answer. This is a typical logic exercise where, as I often say, it either has a horizontal or vertical pattern. Here in this case, if you're used to doing exercises, you'll have found it very easy, as we see that in each line within each row, there's always a triangle, a circle, or a square. Always. Here there's a square, a triangle, a circle. Here a circle, a square, a triangle. So in this case, in the second row, this pattern also repeats. Then here, if we always have a triangle, circle, and square, in each row, in this case we need a triangle here. Here we have a triangle and a square, so here a circle is missing. And here we have a circle and a triangle, so we would need a square here. Therefore, we have a triangle, a circle, and a square, and the correct answer would be option D. This kind of exercise can get complicated, but if you've done it several times and practiced with, for example, our course, you'll solve it much more efficiently and faster. And time in this kind of exercise is a crucial factor, because after all, everyone can answer this kind of exercise if they're given 10 minutes, but usually you're not given more than 30 seconds, or at most a minute to solve it. Let's move on to exercise number 10. Which row should be discarded? In other words, which row operates on a completely different logic compared to all the other rows? What I mean is, we need to focus on the horizontal logic and completely disregard the vertical logic in this particular scenario. Now at this point you can pause the video and observe which row displays a pattern that is entirely distinct from the others. If we pay close attention here and proceed to count the white circles, we will notice that their total sum is 20. For instance, in this specific case, it would be 3, 5, 10, 15, and then 20. The first row, option A, contains 20 white circles. Option B, if we count them, also has 4, 7, 12, 16, and 20. It also has 20 white circles. The same goes for row number C. And if we move on to row number D, we find that it's 3 plus 4, which is 7, plus 3, making 10, plus 2, which is 12, and plus 3, making 15. Option D has 15 white circles, which means that option D displays a pattern that is entirely different from C, B, and A. Therefore, the correct answer would be option D. We have reached the end. You can find more aptitude tests, also known as evaluation tests for Shell, in our course. There you can take more tests online and download them in PDF format. We leave the link to the course in the video description. I hope this video has helped you, and if you want to stand out and pass the test, we look forward to seeing you in the course. Cheers.